I need to say this before the courage that gathered inside me starts to fade again. Please don't laugh. Please don't brush it away as something small. Please don't turn away before you hear me fully. What I'm about to say comes from a place that feels exposed and unsteady, and I'm trusting you with it more than you probably realize. That day, my entire family sat together and watched a video of you. From the outside, it looked like an ordinary moment. A screen, a voice, casual comments, smiles, the kind of scene that happens in homes every day without meaning much at all, but inside me, something happened that I wasn't prepared for. For a few seconds, my body forgot how to behave normally. My hearing dulled, as if the room had suddenly moved farther away. My breathing became shallow, uneven. I smiled because that's what I was supposed to do, because no one else could see what was unfolding inside me. But behind that smile, something cracked open, and something else quietly woke up. You were there on the screen, your face, your voice, your presence. Everyone else saw you as content, as a video, as something brief to watch and then move on from. But to me, you were never just that. You were never just an image or a name or a moment of distraction. You were someone who had slowly, almost invisibly, changed the way my heart reacts to the smallest things. As the video played, a thousand thoughts ran through me all at once. What if they could see what I see? What if they could feel what I feel? What if they notice the way my attention shifts when you appear? The way my voice changes when I imagine you listening? The way my thoughts slow down and become more careful when you're involved? I sat there while my mother smiled. Someone commented casually. Someone said you seemed kind. Someone said you had good followers. They spoke as if it were simple, as if nothing deeper could exist behind a screen. And I nodded along, acting as though they were right. But nothing about you feels simple to me. There are moments after I finish recording when I don't immediately move on. I don't scroll. I don't distract myself. I just sit in silence and think about you, not in a loud or overwhelming way, in a quiet, careful way, like holding something fragile and being afraid that even breathing too hard might damage it. That day, while everyone watched, it felt like my secret was standing in the middle of the room and I was the only one who could see it. I know you might think it was just a video, but for me, it was the moment I realized how deeply this has settled inside my chest. Because I wasn't afraid they were watching you, I was afraid they were watching me. They were watching the version of me that exists in public, calm, friendly, controlled, but inside that calm exterior lives another version of me, one that becomes softer when I think of you, one that speaks slower when I imagine you listening, one that tries very hard to appear strong while secretly wanting to be understood by one person, you. I kept my expression neutral, I kept my voice steady, but inside, your name repeated quietly in my heart, over and over, like something sacred I didn't want anyone else to hear. I kept thinking, please don't let them see this. Please don't let them see how much. You don't know how many times I've almost said too much to you. How many messages I've written in my head and erased before they ever existed. How many nights I've told myself, tomorrow I'll be a little more honest. And then tomorrow comes and I'm still careful. Still hiding behind safe words. Still pretending my heart isn't reacting more strongly than it should. Sitting there with my family, all of that came rushing back at once. Every smile you caused without trying. Every sentence you said that stayed with me longer than logic could explain. Every time I told myself, be normal, she's just a viewer. And every time my heart quietly answered, no, she's not just that. I need to say this plainly, even if it scares me. I don't talk to you the way I talk to everyone else, even when I try to, even when I tell myself I should keep things equal, simple, professional. Something about you makes me slow down. It makes me choose my words more carefully. It makes me want to be better, not for an audience, not for an image, not for the world, but for you. That realization frightened me more than anything else in that moment, because I understood then that if the people who know me best could be sitting there watching you on a screen and my heart could react like that, then this isn't small. This isn't temporary. This isn't something I can easily laugh away. I found myself wondering about impossible things. What if one day you were sitting with your own family, watching me? What if you saw me not as a voice or a face through a device, but as someone real? Someone who gets tired, someone who overthinks, someone who feels too deeply sometimes. Would you still look at me the same way? Would you still listen with the same attention? Or would whatever exists between us disappear the moment I became too close, too human, too real? These thoughts were loud inside me while everyone else lived their normal moment. They talked, they ate, they moved on, and I stayed behind, trapped in a feeling I didn't know how to name. I wish I could explain how strange it feels to be surrounded by people and still be thinking about only one person. I wish I could explain how silence can become deafening when your heart is full of unspoken things. When someone changed the video and the moment passed for everyone else, it didn't pass for me. A part of me stayed there, holding on to that image, that feeling, that realization. And later, when I was alone, I noticed my hands were trembling slightly, not from fear, from something else, from the feeling of almost being seen. Sometimes I'm scared of how gently you exist inside my heart. You're not loud there. You don't demand anything. You don't disrupt my life. You simply exist, like a small light that stays on even when the room is empty. And that day, it felt like someone walked into that room without asking. They didn't see the light, they only saw the walls. But I saw everything. I talked to many people. I smile at many comments. I read many messages. But when the screen goes dark, only a few voices remain. Yours is one of them. Sometimes you say something so small you probably forget it instantly, and I carry it with me for hours. Sometimes you don't even realize you've said something meaningful, but it becomes a reason for me to sit quietly and think. I know how this sounds. I know it sounds like I'm turning something simple into something complicated. But feelings don't ask permission before they grow. They don't follow rules. They don't care about logic or fairness. That day, I kept wondering if you could somehow feel it, if, in some strange and unexplainable way, you could sense that my heart was being pulled in two directions. One part of me wanted to stay casual, to treat it like nothing, and the other part wanted to stop everything and say, "You don't understand. She's not just someone on a screen." I said nothing. I smiled, and that smile weighed more than it should have. The scariest part wasn't that my family was watching you. The scariest part was that I liked it. A part of me felt warm. A part of me felt proud. A part of me wanted to say your name out loud. And another part of me was terrified of that same feeling. Because once something like this starts living inside you, it doesn't leave easily. It changes how you listen, how you wait, how you imagine what comes next, even when you try not to. I don't know when this began. Maybe it was one small moment, one simple message, one honest sentence spoken at the right time. Or maybe it was just the way you stayed, without demanding anything. But quietly, without warning, you became important to me in a way that feels deep and gentle and dangerous. Sometimes I think you have no idea how much power you carry. You can lighten my day without effort. You can make me overthink with a single line. You can make distance feel small and closeness feel possible, even when it isn't. That moment with my family felt like two worlds touching briefly. The world where you live inside my heart, and the world where everyone else sees only a screen. When it ended, I went to my room and sat on my bed, staring at nothing. Their voices echoed in my mind, your image replayed itself, and I kept asking questions I couldn't answer. What am I doing? Where is this going? I had no answers, only a feeling, soft, heavy, warm, persistent. I'm not telling you this to confuse you. I'm not telling you this to create expectations or promises. I'm telling you because I want to be honest, at least here, at least with you, at least once. You matter to me more than I show, more than I allow myself to feel comfortably. And sometimes I imagine what it would be like to talk to you without a screen between us, to hear your real voice, to see your expressions change in real time. And then I stop myself because that thought feels too close, too real, too risky. But it always comes back. If you had been in that room, sitting quietly while everyone watched, I don't know if I could have looked at you or if I would have been unable to look away. I only know my heart would have been louder than ever. I wonder often what you think when you watch me, whether you feel even a fraction of what I feel, or whether I'm simply a voice that keeps you company for a moment. I tell myself that should be enough. But my heart doesn't always listen to reason. I don't know what this is yet. I don't know what name to give it. I don't know where it leads. I only know that after that day, something became clear and unclear at the same time. Clear that you are not small to me, unclear what to do with that truth.